Okay, welcome ladies and gentlemen to another video from Pacific Grand Western Railway. This morning we are going to be taking this Model Power Roco sharknose diesel chassis. This is also a very universal for them. It also fits the Model Power Roco FA unit, and we're going to be putting it under this Tyco sharknose diesel. I've looked things over, and I think it's going to be a fairly easy job. I've gone ahead last night. I opened up the steps on this shell for the screw. I cut the tanks off because the tanks are on here, the other one. So with that, let's begin. To start with, we're going to have to take this chassis completely apart because there's a little bit of cutting on the front and the back corner. And other than that, I think it's going to fit in there pretty nicely. So let's get started. Pretty good way how they keep their motors on. Find it. There we go. I'm going to completely disassemble this chassis because I got to do some cutting on it, and I don't want to do that with the motor on it. Incidentally, this is a nice way they made. We don't need this front coupler anymore. We're going to use the front coupler on the shark nose. We're going to reuse that, so this can come off. The body mounting the front coupler was nice. I'm not sure well they did it with the truck. Now these are typical in all Model Power shark nose and FA units. In order to change this coupler, you have to pop this little box out of here. Now it can be done, but you got to watch. Either these pieces don't break or this don't break in half. They can sometimes be a royal pain. And incidentally, this one, oh, that's right, is on there. So, but this one we're not going to reuse it, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. We'll take the bulb comes out. This is also not going to be reused, but we'll have to take the truck apart first. And I've learned after a while you don't have to take the screw completely out of that truck in order to get it out, but we do. We're going to have to make a snip here. Like so. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the light for now. And incidentally, folks, for those new in the system, these Model Power Roco gearboxes have the exact same wheel sets and gears inside it and worm gear as the Atlas or the Atlas locomotives made by Roco. And pardon me for 1 minute. Okay, folks, I'm back. Just got to separate the gang. This just pulls off. We'll do the same with the rear truck. I will take these gearboxes apart and clean them and lubricate them before I put it back together and clean the wheels, etc. But for now, this is the piece we need. So, that being said, I've gone and looked it over last time. This is the exact length will go in there. However, what we need to do, for those of you wishing to do this, we need to cut a little bit off the front of this frame in order to reuse the Model Tyco coupler box. And we also, they're the right length, but we also need to, on the rear of this chassis, We just need to indent these indents a bit more so they clear these indents in the Tyco body. So with that, I'm just going to get a small marker. Pardon me one moment. Okay, I'm back again. Honestly, sometimes having birds is like having kids. Squabble like crazy. Don't know if they're wanting to kill each other or just their way of playing. One more dot. And I think we're only going to take this front. Take this off. Okay. This should be pretty straightforward. But in order to make these cuts, I'll turn over to my vise. And I'll use my nice little Dremel tool here with a cutoff wheel. And we'll just very gently do not force it, ladies and gentlemen, to let the tool do its job. Just support it gently. I'm just going to quickly turn this around. First, I'm going to just snip this top piece off. Always make sure you're wearing a visor in case your dog is going to do this. There. This is not the greatest spice in the world, but it does get the job done. As I say, don't try to push it. Just let the wheel do its job. That is why, my friends, I always say wear goggles. And these wheels do have a tendency to break. And that was a bit me. I got a little too much pressure, my friends. It's also why I mark my videos not for young children. You know, there's somebody out there, who's little Johnny, so smart he can do everything at 3 years old, but I'm going with the assumption that not everybody's going to let the 3-year-old do that. There. Those two. Ouch. And another thing that you'll notice is that does get a bit hot, my friends. Okay, we're going to have to take some metal off the side of the chassis as well. But I think those are going to do. Okay, we're going to do the front cut now. Again, just not support the tool, just doesn't do its job. This does take wheels. Incidentally, you'll find some wheels cut a little better than others. And again, don't ram this in there super tight, just snug. I always let it run for a few minutes, folks, just to heat the blade up and make sure there's no cracks and nothing fall apart. Ah. Yes, folks, this can get expensive, but this is my fault. And just so you know, this one's a wee bit thicker, is why I'm not using it right at the moment. That was my fault, ladies and gentlemen. You will find when you get doing this, it takes a little bit of get used to the wheel and the handling everything. Don't be surprised if you break a couple of them. Nobody's perfect in life. Unless we're meeting our pretty girls, then us guys are perfect in every way, but we'll leave that for another day. Alright. Okay. No problem with my friends. I'll grab a bit of oil, replace that wheel later date. Let that cool down for a minute. Dust this off. Yes, you do make a little bit of mess, folks. Okay, I think we can pretty much file that down. Now, what we got to work on, what we're going to do to take this siding down a bit. Wait a minute. Maybe we don't have to. Maybe we're not going to have to. Well, I'll be, ladies and gentlemen. That is new. The Tyco body is slightly narrower at the back. Front fits in perfect. Oh, very interesting. We're going to take some filing. on this part is going to have to be filed off narrower. So, this, as you see, goes in the front here, but I need to file down these pieces in front here, like so. Then I'll worry about filing this back part down. The reason I'm doing this is, although it's a nice Tyco shell, and to be honest with you, I know a lot of people pick on Tyco, and there is one fault with them on their, that Tyco did make, was using their, this is the part of it, using this power torque drive. And the problem with it is, lots of times people, when they first come out, they put these things up on carpet, and these gears would pick up the carpet fiber, would bind things up, and subsequently burn out the motor, or break the gears off inside. Not subsequently not very reliable for the drivetrain, so people kind of went out of them. But for all purposes, their bodies, to be honest with you, are every bit as nice or good as the Model Power Roco ones. And for their age, considering this came out in 1975, they're actually pretty good detail on them. Same as their E8, Tyco E8 unit, was a pretty nicely detailed unit. The big fault Tyco made was that power torque unit. If it hadn't been for that, I pretty much think Tyco still might be in business. So that was the one fault they had, was their drive. The second fault they had was their employees making off with half their money to start another business, competition. That did not help matters. I know people say they're a toy-like because of the names and paint schemes they put on them, but all things being equal, that the amount of kits that are out there, they were a good marketing campaign. They did sell a lot of them. So we'll see if we can, this is pretty soft metal, so it should file pretty easy. I think I'm going to turn it the other way so I can see where my marks were. Just so you know, this is not the first time I've used one of these shells, chassis. I also put one of these chassis onto a AHM sea liner. That one I had a link to the chassis. And when I get the unit out to finish it, I may just make a video of it. As I said, this is not the 100% greatest of places. Go ahead and take that. Okay. Off. does get a bit hard on the hands, ladies and gentlemen. Getting back to why I'm doing this Model Power Roco chassis have a good drive in them. And as I say, having the same gears as the Atlas, older Atlas locomotives, they can be multi-units together, hooked together, and run together with the Atlas units. And you can thereby have a different experience. Although the Tyco Power Torque drive, this one was supposed to be a running unit. I never tried it. I wasn't caring about the drive. But Tyco drive will not MU with an Atlas. And I cannot run it with these units, Model Power Roco units, or my Atlas units. Subsequently, it's getting a new drive. Oh, touch more. This is a trial and fit, folks. We're basically following the original contour. We're just making it narrower the front. Again, this is trial and error. There's a bit more to go. Also, folks, when you're doing this, you have to be careful. At the front here, the metal starts to get a little bit thin. So it's always take a bit more off of here. Well, they don't make vices like you used to anymore. You can, folks, always buy a vice made in England. This one came from you know where. Some days I think you should take it back there. I think now we just need to flatten this straight off. Not round it anymore. Just make this. Yes, this is a lot of work, ladies and gentlemen. But to be able to have a Tyco sharknose in the collection that can couple up with my model power sharknose and also be coupled up with my Atlas units would be well worth it. As they say, a little bit of hard work ain't going to hurt anybody. What are we doing? Boy, these guys got a lot sharper nose on them than the model power. What? Well, as they say, It's coming, and so is next Christmas. Don't worry, folks, I do have a vacuum cleaner. And the one thing when using a file, folks, always lift on the return thing and put down on the forward stroke. Lift and down. Easier on your file. Carry over from my heavy duty mechanic days. We're getting there. Well, I don't really want to take more off. There, we're getting pretty thin, as it is. Let's flatten this piece off a bit more. For those of you returning to my video, you'll notice I've got a little bit more light. My nice lady friend in LA who's been coaching me has been explaining a few things how to improve my channel appearance for you folks. So While I was in my cupboard digging out this chassis, or this body, I dug out my other set of lights and decided to try them out today. When she gets home, she can check it out and let me know. And by goodness, you're almost getting there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm almost tempted to cut this blasted front off. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's exactly what we were going to do. But serves no purpose. Oh, no, okay. Good thing I bought a lot of grinding wheels off of eBay. Actually, it was Amazon. Hot stuff. I need a file card, ladies and gentlemen, but the next best thing is good old wire brush. This little flat. As I said, this has got to be the most exasperating vice. I had a workbench similar to this back in the 80s. I must admit, the vice I had on it then was a lot better value. We're just about there, folks. Just got to flatten it off a bit in here. Make it this way a bit. We're good. There we go. Well, okay, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's the front. It's going to sit in. Now we got to grind this back off. And with that, I think we're going to take a break. And I'll make this into a two-part video, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, I'm going to stop, vacuum up and clean up a bit. Then we'll resume this video in part 2. Thank you so much for watching part 1, ladies and gentlemen.